when listening to Kenya Kwanza leaders, I mean, these are people who are totally out of touch with reality. I don't know whether they live in Kenya. I've listened to people there cheering, the normal choir of Kenya Kwanza, cheering William Samoei Ruto, but for some reason they seem not to realize that this is the most unpopular president we've had since independence, and obviously because of his own doing, because when he came up with very, very severe and punitive tax measures, this culture of goonism, the culture of intolerance, the political insults, the political lies, all these things really have a role to play with how Kenyans are feeling. And it's not us, we are not the problem.
How do you determine that he's the most unpopular?
Oh my goodness, there's no president who's been talked about negatively more than William Samoei Ruto in the history of this country. You go to any place, you find 10 people and ask them how many will vote for Ruto, you'll be lucky to see 2 hands up out of 10. That's a reality on the ground wherever you go, including his own region. These are the facts.
Never mind that repeated opinion polls showed that he's
at 20%.
Higher.
At 20.
No.
At 23.
He may not be the threshold, but he's better than everyone else.
At 23.
He's at 20%, so I'm right when I said 2 out of 10. And remember, he's the president with the power. But I wanted to just say that, 2 wrongs don't make a right. And I'm saying this because my colleague here has really defended this regime to the point of even accusing border operators. I want to say these are hardworking young Kenyans that are just earning a living. A few may be involved in criminal activities, and there's also very many criminals who don't operate with borders, even some with huge fuel guzzlers. So you cannot condemn one region of the country and say, or rather one sector and say that if you're operating border, then you're a criminal. That isn't fair. But I want to also say that when I talked about the regime being the ones that are involved in this goonism, is because they are in power. And some remember the buck stops with the current regime. Any criminal activity taking place today, any goonism that is happening today, goons escorted by police, we cannot blame Uhuru Kenyatta because his regime is over. We cannot go back to Kibaki. We cannot go back to Moi. We can only talk about the current regime because this is current affairs. So I am saying the buck stops with this current regime, and they have failed to provide security, which is one of the roles of any regime in power. So if they are unable to secure leaders to be able to address peacefully in Keumbu, then who is to blame? Isn't it the regime? So I'm saying they are the ones that are taking us out of the system of law and order, and probably taking us the Haiti way because of this political intolerance.
How do we deal with this?
Thank you, Sam. First, let me pass my condolence message to the family of Mapinduzi, the late OCMO, who died in a very unfortunate kind of situation. And I'm saying that, Sam, because I'm also, as you know, a victim of political violence. Because years ago I was injured, and I live with that pain up to now. In a political situation where we were just demonstrating, escorting the late Raila Amolo Odinga from the airport to Uhuru Park. And of course then the regime felt that it wasn't right, we shouldn't have done that, and I got injured in the process. I am seeing that the violence is becoming even more now. Because, and I don't know whether this regime is running scared, because when you look at where the violence is being observed, it is in places where those of us who believe in the fact that William Ruto should serve 1 term and leave office, will always get attacked by those that think that he should continue in office. And there's a lot of violence that we have seen over the period. I think when you look at that team that was out there attacking their convoy, really these are armed militia, because it's so bows and arrows, rungus, machetes. How in today's day and age do you have a militia group of hundreds of youth? The photos speak volumes, and in a country which is governed by the rule of law. And they go to a market and they say that you cannot stop here and speak because you will speak against our member of parliament. Words of the leaders cannot be as dangerous as the kind of weaponry and violence that these people have meted out. In the process, they've killed an innocent person, a sound man, a person who was just trying to earn a living. I don't know what to do, but I condemn in the strongest possible terms this kind of misbehavior by this regime. And I think you know, that we have in this country, we have institutions. Some, it is so unfortunate that so many years down the road we keep having incidents like this, and you know, a few people will be arraigned in court, and after a week or two that story dies. I don't know what needs to happen. I think we need to also stop dealing with these young men that are being hired. These are unemployed young people. They have you know, these are people who probably you know, fate has dealt them a very negative blow. They have no employment. You know, the education in this country is too expensive for them. Healthcare is unaffordable. So what happens is that because of this desperation, they can be used by political leaders so that they can go and do these kind of things. My proposal would be, from now, let us see those that are involved, because I can tell you, it is possible for our security agencies to find out who is it who paid these people. These people, even these rungus, you can see, they look the same. They came from one shop. Somebody paid for them. Those bows and arrows, somebody paid for them. Let them just catch that culprit and send one person to jail, so it becomes a message to all those political leaders that believe that the only way to remain in office is to use violence. Otherwise, it is unfortunate that instead of going forward as a country, we are going backwards. And I think this regime, honestly, they need to start packing up. By August 2027, this regime has to leave. Otherwise, if we continue in this trajectory, another 5 years, there will be no country left in 2032. William Ruto must leave office.
You actually think it is the government that is sponsoring such like events in Keumbu?
Sam, let me tell you, when people come out to the streets and they're armed and they're shouting two-term, who are they supporting?
That's what I'm asking.
I totally believe that these people are sponsored goons of the regime. These are the same sponsored goons that went and attacked, different goons but under the same script, went and attacked people in All Saints Cathedral in Nairobi when they were discussing the budget. These are the same goons that were hired at one time when we were in Tharaka Nithi with my party leader to go and stop us from addressing people. This is a regime plan. This regime is running scared, Sam, and they do not want our alternative voices to be heard. Outside in the streets, even in parliament, they do anything possible to make sure that we are not heard. And you know, the ultimate way of silencing us is to destroy us and finish us and kill some of us like Osiemo. Osiemo can no longer talk. So, Sam, I think this is a regime script. It is making Kenyans scared. They're preparing for us to be unable to get out of our houses by 2027 when the elections come. But we are telling them, we are not scared. We will be out there, we will campaign, and our people will come out and vote them out of office.